The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog, so get up new customers, play just $5. Get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no guys. Me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Okay, if you didn't know, but it sounds like people know because they were talking about it in the chat. I was down for the count with a migraine yesterday, and I missed like everything that went on yesterday. I actually think the migraine kicked in the moment that I realized that the New York Giants were not firing their defensive coordinator. I think
Okay.
that I don't want to say 100%, Scott, but I think that those two things of when the migraine symptoms started and them announcing that they were not firing that defensive coordinator, I'm more than positive those two things go hand in hand.
So, in other words, the Giants broke you.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right.
And I lost about a good, what is that, 12 to 18 hours of life, honestly.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of things that I missed. Before I talk about things that I miss, yeah, you hear him, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. We got a big start to the season coming up. We have 2 games. I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. We have some injuries already, which I know that you're going to touch upon. We have the X-Files music ready to go in case we need it. Another injury got listed, actually, about 20 minutes before we went live. But looking forward to it. 2 good games, 2 Western Conference rivalries, you can say. Looking forward to it. We'll point out it's not exactly the same with no LeBron, but it is what it is. Happy we got regular NBA back. Looking forward to it. There's been a void since the WNBA ended for the season. Not enough basketball. No offense to preseason. No offense. I know you can make some money in preseason. I didn't bother, but it's nice to have midweek basketball again. I'm excited.
They should really push those things a little bit closer together. WNBA finals, preseason basketball.
To be fair, they might have tried to, but unfortunately, one team couldn't win a game, so that kind of ended quickly. But I mean, it is what it is. But if the Mercury would have won a couple games, maybe it would have transitioned more nicely, but that didn't happen. So we had a bit of a gap there in basketball.
All right, let's get to the things that I missed while I was down for the count with a migraine. So Stephen A is still going on tour and, doing his regular bronze slander. I didn't find that new. And then Russ comes out of here. Wait, is this his real story? Like, is this legit?
I thought it was. I mean, you never know anymore. Everything's so believable at this point.
So if you didn't catch it, I saw some tweet. Wish I got the name. I probably should have. But I'm not a real journalist here. We're content. And so basically, we see the tweet. If you haven't seen the tweet, go look up the tweet. But it was talking about this meeting that the Lakers had, and it was talking about how Russ really did enjoy his time with the Lakers, and they had this team meeting, and Will Smith was going to be there, and I don't know. I missed the part of what made LeBron James and Anthony Davis get up in the meeting and walk out. But Bron stormed out. Anthony Davis walked behind him. And Russ is like, so are we all leaving? And then Pat Bev is like, nah, we got to stay. Them dudes won a championship. Like, what? And now he's like, I can't do that fake stuff. Braun didn't even want Will Smith to be there or something, yada 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 yada. And then they come and he's like, he came back in the room and he was just super fake about it. And then you see the picture of the team and Will Smith, and you see LeBron's face next to Russ, who just looks like he completely didn't want to be there in that moment. That's what made me believe it. The pictures, honestly, I didn't believe it until the picture. The picture is what made me believe it. It was absolutely hilarious. It sounds like something Bron would do. Bron's he's just a funny individual off the court, like extremely funny individual here, man.
Yeah, I do want to point out though quickly for the Stephen A thing. I kind of want to give myself a pat on the back. I think I've hit the mental mute button on like all of his content.
Really?
It doesn't even faze me anymore.
Oh.
Like I'm kind of just good. I kind of just acknowledge like, oh, Stephen A did something. I just scroll right past it. I don't know. The rage bait hasn't really been working on me lately. Maybe I'm just numb to it at this point.
And then also, I caught up on the James Harden and the scratch James Harden. What's this about Tibbs going to Celtics practice and giving them
giving away the game plan?
Yeah, what? What is this? Is disrespect? What?
Well, to be
I
fair,
understand.
Didn't Thibodeau win a title with the Celtics as their D coordinator, basically, back when they had the big three?
Was he the D coordinator?
I want to say he was. So he already has some ties to the
But
Celtics.
either way, the mutiny. You just left.
Yeah.
First of all, I hope he's clearly not looking for another head coaching job, because how can I, as a staff, bring you on and you're willing to do stuff like that? That's disgusting. And you know what? It's all this just puts together because he just had that moment where Jaylen Brown was in the documentary. He was like, yeah, I have no idea how we even lost that series. Well, now he knows.
By the way, separate note, since we are going to be talking about the Celtics later on, I'll put it this way. Lone Star Jaylen Brown is going to either be really good or really bad.
Oh, no.
I don't know how it's going to go, but that's going to be a separate conversation we got to get
tomorrow into. I will have money on Jaylen Brown ladder. I think Lone Star is going to go out there. He could potentially, like, if everybody else, he could potentially really lead the league in scoring. Like, I think he's going to just start chucking.
The point is we're going to see how that goes, but Jaylen Brown has had multiple quotes over the years, whether it involves courtside conversation with Bronny or not. He's not afraid to speak his mind, for better or worse. So I'm not surprised he said a soundbite that juicy when he probably shouldn't have. But, you know, whatever.
And then the next thing, Tibbs is just walking. Like, this is not coincidence, people. Oh, they're trying to make them good again, and I hope they aren't. All right, let's look in the chat. Chat's been going. Shout out to everybody. Oh, this is a bunch of names that I haven't seen. It feels like a year around here. Hello, what's going on, everybody? Shout out my guy Ski here. Appreciate it. Make sure you go check out my boy Ski stuff on his YouTube channel over there. Real good NBA capper. We'll have him up here one of these days for sure. Hit Tibbs. Aaron Glenn of the NBA.
Look, I'm going to have to push back a little bit. I get the point you're trying to make, Joe. You went for the hyperbole extremist example. Tibbs did make the conference finals. Aaron Glenn's always better. Like, I can't fully compare the two, but I get what you're trying to say. If you wanted to say like Wade Phillips, sure. Like, that's fine. Defensive coordinator, was a head coach for the Cowboys for a bit, never won a title. That argument's fair, but Aaron Glenn,
like one playoff game.
That is so disrespectful to Tibbs. He made a conference finals. Aaron Glenn hasn't won a game yet. Like, I can't compare the two, but I get what you're trying to say.
Got a lot going on. Everybody is hitting up the chat. Make sure you get in there in the chat. I'll try to get to everybody as the show goes on. But enough of the fun little recap that I had coming back to life yesterday. I just cannot believe Tibbs. I'm over. Get this guy out of here. He was a cancer. He was a cancer. I'll tell you every day he was a cancer. No matter what the Knicks do this season, I will still admit that Tibbs was a cancer. This was complete mutiny, and I just cannot believe he went and told the secrets like that. By the way, Celtics, I don't know what day they play the Knicks for the first time. That's probably a good bet, not going to lie. And I don't even like the Celtics. Probably a good bet when that game comes around.
Can I invest in Side Talk stock before the game takes place? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Do they have a stock I can invest
I think we can go set something up on Novig. I think we can set something up on Novig.
Yeah,
get it going.
Fine.
All right. NBA tips off this week. So make sure you subscribe to us, the NBA Gambling Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed right now here, wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, all of that. And like Eli just dropped in the chat, we are so back, fellas. We are back. Yes, Mark. Tibbs is freaking disgusting, man. All right, let's get into it. So, 2 games opening up to NBA tip-off here. I have to say, I am way more interested in what the Rockets have going on now than at any point I was in the offseason. I literally, more than right there now in this moment, am I interested in the Rockets than any other point in the offseason, because now I'm just curious on what's going to happen here. We've got the Houston Rockets going on the road, going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC is laying 6.5. 227.5 is the total. Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that I have to take a pause for an injury report this early in the season, but I do have to take a pause for the injury report this early in the season. Isaiah Joe for OKC is out for this game. J Dub, the starter of the Jalen Williams, he is out for this game. Not expected to miss a lot of time, Scott, but he is out. Ajay Mitchell is actually not on the injury report, so he is available to play for this. And Jashawn Tate is out for the Rockets.
No offense, is it bad that I forgot he was still in the league? Hasn't he been hurt for like 2 straight years?
Yeah, it hasn't been.
I actually liked him as a player too. But he just always hurt.
I forgot what it's like to have him on the court. I'm not gonna lie. He's been in, out, in, out. It hasn't been consistent. And So, Scott.
KD back in OKC on ring night. The disrespect.
Okay. He said it doesn't matter to him.
I'm sure it doesn't. Yeah, okay.
Right. He said that plays no factor in any of this.
I'm not saying if it does or it doesn't, but having KD in the building when OKC's lifting their first ever franchise banner, the NBA schedule writers cooked. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
The only thing missing is Russ being on the Rockets, but look, that is phenomenal. I'd say round of applause for the actual schedule.
Or what if schedule writing? What if Russ was like that vet on OKC that didn't play, and KD had to watch Russ get a ring with the Oklahoma City Thunder right now and did nothing?
Okay. That would be good too. But look, I'm just saying whether it matters or not, KD's going to say it doesn't matter. It is pretty fun just from an actual concept to have KD in the building on the other team watching OKC win a title without him when he ring chased with the Warriors. That is pretty fun.
Oh, yes.
That is so pretty fun.
It's so fun. So fun.
So throwing that out there separately, I find that entertaining.
Lines dropped to 6.5 now. Here's Scott. It probably has something to do with J. Will not playing.
Yeah.
It also may have something to do with Ime Udoka playing chess right now and releasing the starting lineup days in advance before the game.
KD at shooting guard? Shooting guard KD?
Yep.
Okay. Do you like the lineup?
Are you going to hate me if I argue that shooting guard might be KD's natural position?
Well, KD, we know, of course, is one of the best pure scorers of all time. Yeah. You could argue that makes sense, but I just basically want to ask what the actual lineup, maybe it's the Şengün and Adams combo there. I have serious spacing questions with this team, and I'm wondering if you're brushing those off or if you think it's a problem. Because OKC as a defense, we know, likes to hound ball handlers, whether it involves SGA, Caruso, of course. They have a lot of really good on-ball defenders. How many true guards do the Rockets actually have? I know KD has a handle, obviously. You're looking at Amin, who's not a true point guard. Mm-hmm. Their only true point guard right now is arguably Aaron Holiday, because I don't know if Reed Shepard's a true point guard.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if he's a true. I think because he played it in college, but I don't know if he's a true.
That's kind of my point, though, is against this defense, first game with the new roster with KD, I think this backcourt's in trouble for this game. Like, I love Amin as a player. Do you trust him for the sake of playmaking and actual ball handling to dribble the ball up the court the entire time? I don't know about that. That was really not his role for most of the season last year. So I think it's a bad matchup for the Rockets early on. I think they'll eventually figure it out. I just can't believe they went into a season as potential title candidates and their only true point guard is Aaron Holiday. I don't know how that happened.
Because of Fred VanVleet Torres.
No, correct. ACL? But I figured you'd have a plan B. Somebody waves somebody, you get a point guard there. But do you think this backcourt's a problem against OKC? I think it might be.
I think it's twofold. I think, yes, the backcourt, like the fact that you don't have one could be a problem. But I think they also said, okay, let's not have a backcourt and let's just throw out the longest lineup we can, get in the passing lanes and make this a lot of havoc defensively here. I'm curious what the answer is going to be if OKC just says, fuck it, we're going to press you. And we're going to see if you can even get the ball across half court.
I feel like that's the strategy. You press and then you make Adams and you make Şengün run up and down the court. Aren't you just going to try to outpace this team?
Because I really don't know what Amin's going to look like. If they start pressing them the entire game, like I don't know what that ball handling looks like then. Of course, if he's free and able to move the ball, he'll be able to make a play. He's an NBA player, but they start pressing. I don't know what that's going to look like, and they might create some turnovers, get going in transition, But I will admit that the lineup is interesting, just because what does OKC have to throw out there?
With what position? What are you talking
about? What do they have to throw out there if the size is too much? Like, if the size becomes to be too much of a problem for them, and you have Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren working overtime to defend all of these bigs, because Şengün has gotten off on them in the past, and he's been able to make plays. And so, like, if you add all of that, what does that look like?
They have no backup line. They have the other Jalen Williams, who also can't handle the size.
Yeah.
They have Dieng, who didn't play at all last year, but in theory, that's your wild card front court member. But no, like, if Houston's rebounding is going to be a serious problem early, it'll be a problem for the entire game. The real question is a battle of styles. Houston should want to slow the game down, make it an absolute rock fight, and just try to out-rebound OKC in these very potentially ugly half-court possessions. OKC is going to run. We know that Chet is athletic. Same thing with Hartenstein. They can get up and down the court. They can potentially bench one of them, go a bit smaller, bring in Caruso off the bench if needed. We'll see if Caruso and Dort both start. I doubt it. I think one of them comes off the bench. They can use different lineups to test the actual, I'd say, transition defense for the Rockets, and I think that could be a problem. But I think it's a battle of styles, as you said. Houston, I think, is going to try to make the game ugly and physical. OKC wants to play physical anyway, but I think they want to run. So I like the under in the game. We'll get into that total in a second.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the side?
I'm not really married one way or another. I see the line going towards the Rockets. I don't think I'm really willing to get to that point. OKC is very good at home. OKC is very good at home against the Western Conference.
For reference, by the way, they were 37-15-2 ATS last year at home. They were laying double digits in a ton of those games. Against bad teams, I'll admit it, but 37-15-2 ATS at home last year.
And I just think even if Houston makes this a game, and even if we get like all the way down to it, when we get into crunch time, I'm telling you, if OKC presses in the fourth quarter, is Houston going to be able to move the ball? Like, are they going to even feel comfortable? Like,
I don't think so.
What is the offensive adjustment if OKC decides, all right, we're just going to press you with the ball because you don't have ball handlers?
I'm trying to think of other lineups you can do besides maybe moving KD to like a power forward, use Şengün at center kind of thing. But then you're still stuck with either Reed Shepherd or Aaron Holiday playing serious minutes. I also want to ask about the backup center situation for Houston, because Adams, we know, no offense to Steven Adams, I love Steven Adams as a rebounder and a screener. He has no offensive talent, like at all. What's the point of having Capella on this team with Steven Adams? Capella can lob catch. He doesn't really have much offensive talent either. So I'm just a bit concerned that even though the front court rebounding should be solid, does OKC actually have to guard those two guys? Or can they just help off and then rotate?
Remember last year when KD was on a team with no centers, and now he's on a team with all the centers?
Yes. But I just find it weird how you're looking at this lineup with Eason. I like Eason. I don't think he's a great offensive player. He's very good defensively, though, as we all know. You have, of course, Adams, and you have Capella. There's a lot of redundancy there. I just question how much front court scoring you're going to get. Şengün needs room to operate, obviously. He's going to try to isolate, try to get some one-on-ones.
Yeah.
With Adams or Capella on the court at the same time, what's he supposed to do? Aren't you just attracting another help defender over to help out on Şengün? Because why would you have to guard Adams? Right? Am I missing something?
No, I feel you.
I think the spacing's a serious problem with this front court. They have nobody who can space the floor.
Even Şengün's
not a great three-point shooter.
If you haven't known Scott, this is a very real critique of Scott and teams when they get too big happy. So
in today's NBA with the floor spacing, they have no spacing at all in the front court.
I mean, I'm not 100% against them, but I'm saying right here against OKC, I don't know. I'm not all the way out on the Rockets just yet. I'm interested. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not all the way out. I'm picking them to win like 48 games. I still have them as a playoff team, but I think for this matchup, if you have a Twin Towers lineup like OKC does with Hartenstein and with Chet, and you can kind of basically avoid one of the centers on the court defensively, because Adams isn't going to actually look towards the rim. You can do a lot of things to frustrate Şengün and to send extra help, and Houston will basically be playing 4-on-5 until a rebound goes up, because Houston might kill you there. But if Adams is a threat to score, I mean, what's a good offensive game for Adams? 6 points? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to really guard Adams, and they might just help out on Şengün. I think the spacing's a problem.
I'm interested in seeing what the rebounding battle looks like. That's my thing. And that's where I feel like OKC can lose the game. I think if they are getting torched on the glass, then all of that kind of gets kind of crazy, and Houston at least makes this close and maybe even up to win it, because Houston has given OKC some games. Now, OKC has beaten the crap out of Houston at times, but Houston's given OKC some games.
I believe the home game last year, OKC won both home games by at least 9 points. They technically had one neutral site game, which was the in-season tournament, and the Thunder killed them. But the 2 games in OKC, they did cover this number. But a reminder, J-Dub is out. Yeah. So, mentioning that.
I'm very interested to see how this goes. Very interested to see how this goes. But
what do you like on the side, then? It sounds like you make an argument.
Give me OKC. Give me OKC. I'm going to go with OKC. Give me OKC laying the 6.5 here. I do think that KD has a game. I do agree with your question marks on the spacing. Maybe not as big to me, just because I think that whatever question mark you have with the spacing is probably also going to get nullified with the fact of, I just really like, if Chet and Isaiah are not on it today, they are going to get torched on the glass, like absolutely torched on the glass. And so, and even Amin, Amin can go out there and get 7 to 10 rebounds. Like, I think they could really get torched on the glass, and that's going to make things concerning. But it's really, for me, in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, I really do think that with Daigneault, the defensive game plan is going to shift. You're going to start pressing, trying to really force them to struggle to even get the ball over half court, create some turnovers, get out in transition, and start scoring. And then that's when OKC pulls away. And at the end of the night, we're talking about, hey, that was a competitive game. The Rockets probably are a little bit better than we pegged them for. But at the end of the day, OKC is OKC.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I still think the Rockets are going to be a good team. I'm not saying this team's going to suck, but I think OKC is in a different tier. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I think OKC, from a depth perspective and from an overall pace perspective, they can be a really tough matchup for what the Rockets are trying to do. So we're going to see what happens. Different styles, something's got to give. Oh, yeah. I'll go with the Thunder in this one at home. They're just so good at home in general. And I do think relying on Reed Shepherd, relying on some other guys to carry the load from the actual backcourt, that's going to take some time. I don't see that happening in game one. If you want to go for Shepherd props, that's fine. I think you can go for some individual guys. But as a whole, I don't want to back Reed Shepherd, Aaron Holiday, and Amen Thompson as a point guard. His unnatural position against Caruso, Dort, Shea, and all the other insane defenders they have on OKC. I'll pass on that. Give me the Thunder in game one.
All right. Total. What's that, 227.5 now, I think?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. It's just, I so far, everything we've said, nothing's taught me off the under. It feels like that this is going to be a rather defensive game. I can see the ways the OKC playing really solid defense. I do think the size can be an issue, especially the length. And if they start getting into the passing lanes of OKC, they can definitely create some turnovers, and it's going to ultimately come down to pace. And if these turnovers are leading back to points and we're running up and down the floor, then yeah, that's going to be really annoying. But I think we kind of ends up slowing the game down a little bit. Both teams play really solid defense, and I think the fourth quarter is going to be a rock fight at the end of the game. So yeah, give me under 227.5.
Yeah, I'm on the under as well. I see people asking if it's correlated. If you like the Thunder, do you like the under as well? I don't say that it's a guarantee that if
no, I think it could go either way. Actually,
I was going to say, if the Thunder run them out of the building, they could, in theory, send the game over, score 120 plus points, and the game goes over anyway, and they still cover. Mm-hmm. But for my prediction, I do think it's a little bit correlated, but not for the reason that you kind of think. I think the Rockets have to slow the game down. I don't think they can afford to get into a track meet with this OKC team, with the depth they have, the different lineups they can use. The Rockets lineups mainly consist of still using one true center, because you still have Şengün on the court, maybe two if you want to use Adams or Capella for a bit. Even Durant, who we know is a great athlete, but is still up there in years. OKC is going to want to run them out of the building. That's at least what I would do if I was Daigneault. The Rockets should do whatever they can to slow the game down, play in the half court, try to dominate on the boards, and make the game a slugfest. So I think Houston, based on their game plan alone, can keep the game interesting for a bit. But I do think there'll be one really ugly quarter. I can see one quarter with less than potentially 52 points in it, because this game turns into a slugfest where these teams just kill each other in the paint. You get a couple of bad shooting minutes from the outside, and suddenly you're in a territory where there's 48 points in a quarter and the game goes under. So I like OKC in the under, but I do think Houston strategically will try to make the game slower in the half court and try to out-physical OKC. I don't think it works, but I think it sends the game under the total.
Yeah, I trust Ime in that spot, man. I think Ime is going to be able to do that and play really solid defense on his own end. All my questions for Houston is really just on the offensive side of the ball and if the offense is able to keep up. But like, I think they're going to play a pretty solid level of defense here. I think that it's a very interesting defensive lineup, and it kind of hides Şengün a little bit by having Adams on the court. But yeah, I'm with you.
Also to ask though, for the offense, do you like Jabari Smith?
I think that he can take a step forward this year.
I think he can, but I think once again, a lot of people are looking at the potential of a top 3 pick, saying, oh, this guy can definitely be the piece that you need as a stretch 4. Are we sure about that? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, he can become that guy. Has he drastically improved since he joined the NBA, or is he kind of the same guy that he joined the league?
Ask me again in a week.
That's kind of my point, is that you're looking at who's supposed to stretch the floor on this team with really minimal shooting. Şengün is not a great outside shooter. Adams can't shoot from the outside at all. Almond's not a great outside shooter either. The starting lineup has basically...
I think he's going to take a step forward.
Yeah, he might. But the point is, right now, you're looking at, 1.5 shooters on this team if you trust Jabari to actually come through. The spacing's a problem if you're a bit lower on Jabari Smith like I am.
Rockets team total under 110.5. When I look at the number, I mean, OKC giving up 110 points first game of the season. Like,
with the pace the Rockets want to play at or the lack thereof, I like the under on that.
Yeah, I think that might actually be a little bit more appeasing to me than the under overall.
Even a lot of the bench players Houston has. I know Reed can be a potential serious 3-point shooter on that team. Is Eason a great offensive player? No.
Yeah,
is Capella a great offensive player? Yeah. They have a lot of guys that are good defensively, but lack, I'd say, offensive creativity, which could be a problem. So I agree with you.
I think I'm all in on this. Might be. I wonder if we're going to be betting Rockets unders all year. I wonder if that's how this is going to end up. Might be.
I mean, there's a chance that a team that they're against can rebound and they actually just record 20 offensive rebounds in a game and get 40 free throws. The free throws are going to be the equalizer for the sake of their actual over-unders this season, because they might get to the line a lot. But for the sake of the roster build, I am definitely trending more under on the Rockets games than over on the Rockets games. They should be a really good defensive team.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Player props. Let's go ahead. What you got?
I mean, if I just mention the lack of shooting on this team, don't I have to take Durant stuff? Just based on the fact that somebody's got to shoot the damn ball?
Yeah, no. What is it at? Is that 27.5? Is
that like 23 and a half?
28.5?
It's 23 really? And a half.
What?
On Durant. It's 23 and a half points at minus 110.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think I have to. Regardless of the narrative, which of course people are going to buy into anyway, somebody's got to stretch the floor on this team, and Durant's going to get a bunch of touches.
When's the last time Durant played OKC?
Wait,
why do I not have? When is the last time he's played OKC? Has it been that long?
I'm trying to think if he played them while he was on the Thunder last year, because of course he missed some. I'm sorry, I meant the Suns. Yeah, but he was injured for a part of that season too, so I actually don't know.
Kevin Durant, last time he played the Oklahoma City Thunder was, what's this, May 29th, 2024.
Okay, so it's over a year.
Yeah, it is over a year. Jesus Christ.
All right. But 23 and a half for Durant.
Time is flying.
That's too short. Yeah.
Time is flying. That's 2 seasons ago. He did not play against them last season. Jesus Christ. All right, 2 seasons ago, he played, what is this? Is this 3 games? No. Yeah, 3 games in that span, 26, 20, and 28, all with the Suns. And then a season before that, he's got a 35-point game against them. So
23 and a half, though, for Durant. There's a certain amount of disrespect there.
Yeah.
I got to go with the over on Durant.
Yeah.
He's getting all the late shot clock touches in the fourth quarter of the game, too. So there's going to be volume. I got to go with the over, 23.5.
All right. What do we want to do here? The rebounding, it has to be, I have to like something on the rebound numbers here for the Rockets. What I will talk about is I did play Amen over 5.5 assists. I mean, maybe it's a couple lobs to the basket. Maybe he just gets it off of KD and he ends up just kicking over to KD at the right point in time and he gets the assist there. But it seems like they're going to put the ball in his hands. And again, if OKC's not going to press and they're just going to let him kind of get in the half court and run the offense, then I mean, it feels like he should walk out with 6 assists. He looked pretty competent in the role over the course of the preseason. So yeah, I'll take a stab at Amen Thompson to go over 5.5 assists. Not going to be a lot of that because I don't think it's going to be a lot of scoring on this game, but I'll try it out, see what it looks like. I'm interested in the new lineup.
I thought about the Amen rebounds, but it's such a slippery slope when the entire team can rebound. So I'm afraid somebody's going to get left out to dry. We know Amen does chase rebounds at times too, but yeah, I don't mind that for Amen. Somebody's got to handle the ball. We know Durant likes to operate in the potential post-up scenarios as well for ISO, so you might have to get somebody to get him the ball in those mismatches. I think Amen's going to want to, once again, be the de facto point guard because they made him that in the starting lineup. I agree with you about the assist.
So should we just be like, if Steven Adams isn't out there rebounding, what do we have him out there for?
That's kind of my point. No. I don't think he's going to score against this team unless they completely ignore him and then he ends up getting some putbacks. But we know he's not a good free throw shooter at all. So even if he gets hacked like Mitchell Robinson, he's not going to make the free throw, so who cares? I just feel like Adams, what's his points at for this game anyway?
Steven Adams. All right, so I got 6. By the way, 6.5 rebounds is the rebounds prop, Scott.
Okay, I see a 7.5 there, but I think that makes sense. I like the under. I think they're going to play him off the floor.
5.5 on the points.
Okay, so 3 baskets. I mean, I said right before.
So we're just getting them up out of there.
I said as a joke though, what's a good offensive game for Steven Adams? 6 points, and his line's actually at 5.5. I'll go with the under on his points. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I think conceptually it sounds great when you're looking at the offensive rebound dominance they should have in this game, but he's going to get torched in transition.
Yeah,
the entire game. I got to go with the under on Adams at 5.5. It's dangerous, but if he played less minutes than expected because OKC went small and just ran him out of the building, he really might start both halves, play like 15 minutes total, and they'll go elsewhere. Maybe that's why they got Capella, because Capella can run the floor while doing similar things rebounding-wise. Maybe. I'm just speculating, but I like the under on Adams' points at 5.5.
Yeah. For that reason, I'm not married to playing the rebounds, but I will say comically low number for the rebounds in Steven Adams because he can accidentally walk into 6 in the first quarter.
Yeah, he can accidentally get 3 on one possession, but the counterpoint is you're also leaving yourself some room, or the sports books are, where if we are right and if OKC does play him off the floor, the number also can tempt people to bet an over when he might get less minutes than expected.
All right, you said where's the scoring going to come from? Well, we talked about KD. It's got to be Şengün too, man.
Mm-hmm.
They got to continue to just go to him, and his ability to get to the free throw line is something that I'm concerned about for Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein today, because if those two aren't on the court, then they're really, really going to be screwed in this spot, man. And he's always going to be aggressive, and they give him the opportunities at the line. Like, he has a pretty good whistle where we're not sitting here like, oh, it's a foul. They're giving him, like, they're not treating him like a big. And he gets the calls. He goes to the line. He knocks them down. His points prop is at 17.5 here, Scott. I will take the over 17.5 for Alperen Şengün.
I mean, once again, somebody's got to score on this team, so I don't mind it. I thought about maybe Şengün assists, because I'm trying to think of who's going to actually handle the ball, and we know Şengün can be a point forward. Baby Jokic was the nickname for a bit there. That could be an option too, but I am a bit concerned about the spacing, though, for Şengün when you have Adams or Capella or a couple other guys on the court. So I thought about maybe going with Şengün for maybe rebounds, because you can take Adams off the floor. I don't think you can take Şengün off the floor. I know defensively he might get torched, but I do think for
the offensive play, just put it all together. Put it all together.
For a playmaking perspective, you kind of need him out there. His 9.5 rebounds are plus 142.
Scott, is this right? Whoa.
I think plus 142 for 10 rebounds for Şengün is just an insane price.
Yeah, that's insane. Şengün's PRA prop is at 31.5. He's been over this in 8 of his last 10 games that he's played. 64% of the time last season. I don't think Şengün, okay, Adams is around. We're talking about the new lineup. Bring in Capella. You'll probably have a center there most of the time. They're going to take some of the rebounds away, but I don't think Şengün's work really slows down. I think he puts together the same about workload that he did last season. So maybe just to put it all together and Alperen Şengün over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I don't mind that too, but I think I just prefer the rebounds or assists for me because I do think he'll get the ball a lot, and I do think based on the amount he's going to have to play from an offensive playmaking perspective, I think he's got to be on the court. So I like Şengün rebounds at 8.5. I like the 9.5 at plus 150 basically.
Yeah. All right. Şengün. I really like that. I might have to add that to my portfolio here today. All right. Anything else here? OKC. Let's talk about the OKC side of the ball real quick. So I saw chat talking about SGA. If SGA is really the only scoring option here, I get the thoughts on that. I just don't necessarily agree. I think OKC plays a lot of good team basketball, but I do think that they're not going to be able to score as well, and it is going to be a little bit more of a struggle with J-Dub. That's why I like the under here in the game. I'm terrified of Hartenstein and Chet props with Şengün and KD on the other side. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know if I'm that terrified of KD there because I just think based on an actual physicality perspective, I know Chet is also kind of a stick man, but at the same point, what are you concerned about when it comes to those two guys against KD?
I think that they're going to force them to the line. They're going to create a lot of fouls. They're going to get them to the line, and there could be a situation where one of or potentially both are in foul trouble, and that's gonna change that. That will completely change this game around.
I'm actually curious how many free throw attempts KD averaged last year. Yeah, KD only averaged 6 that's 3-pointers. So KD's attempted less than 5.9 free throws per game in the last 2 seasons. He doesn't go to the line as much as you think. He goes some, but not as much. A lot of it's jump shooting.
Okay.
KD.
Okay.
So it's
really
Şengün.
Not. It's Şengün.
I was going to say Şengün does a lot.
Yeah,
KD doesn't go to the line as much as you might think.
All right, so we'll see what happens with the Şengün matchup here today. Yeah. I'm just really not married. Yeah, I'm not married to anybody on OKC side.
A lot of it's going to be wait and see with the new lineup Houston's using and J-Dub being out.
Who's the fifth person that OKC's playing? Who's going to be the fifth person here? Is it Caruso? Is it
for the starting lineup?
Yeah, it's SGA.
I think from a size perspective, probably Wiggins.
Okay.
Based on size, I think Caruso is more of a spark plug off the bench. Or Dort will be, but I think it's going to be Dort because he's a bit bigger than Caruso.
Yeah, Dort's in the lineup.
And Wiggins. I think Wiggins will be in there too. Caruso first man off the bench.
Okay. Just curious. Woo! What a breakdown. That took some time. Hey, MyBookie.ag, your place to bet every single sport, including the NFL, NBA, right here. Their motto is bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit, get lightning fast payouts using cryptocurrency. Head over to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for 100% bet bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig's America's #1 sports prediction market, and you're getting the best prices on the market with Novig. Go check them out. They're available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 when you use our promo code SGPN over there with Novig. Promo code SGPN. All right. Next game up. The Lakers. Lakers at home, welcoming the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are laying 2.5 here. 220. Oh, I actually just saw this move to 225 in a spot here, Scott. But we'll call it 226.5. It's kind of fluctuating between 226.5, 225.5. Looks like in different spots here.
It's a good point by timeout, by the way. He said that it might be Case and Wallace starting. Fair enough. Point is, OKC's got options.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I was curious what that last person was going to be. All right, Maxi Kleber out. Anybody know Max Kleber was on the Lakers still?
Yeah, of course. Didn't he play 3 minutes in the elimination game and did absolutely nothing?
Yep, and he's starting off the season exactly how he finished.
Yep.
LeBron James is out. Hilarious. The people that were pointing out that LeBron was doing, deadlifts wrong. And that might have been a part of how he got what is it, Seneca, or how?
I thought it was the announcement 2.0 that caused the injury. Uncomfortable chair,
Oh man, I mean, it just
those
that thought that was real, like you just don't know the troll that this man is.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to roast LeBron too hard, of course, because it is incredible he's still playing basketball at this point in his career. Father Time is undefeated. Eventually, I know that they had a great commercial series for that, like last year or 2 years ago. But every time LeBron gets hurt now, parentheses, Father Time. It is what it is. Like, you can't expect a 40-plus-year-old man to keep playing at this level while staying healthy. And LeBron gets hurt all the time now. It is what it is. But that's an injury that can definitely linger for a decent portion of the season. So we'll see how LeBron does, but it sucks. Of course, you want to see LeBron Curry. It's going to be depressing to think about. You don't have many LeBron Curry games left, which is going to be kind of sad when that ends, but you're kind of running out of games.
Yep. Well, no LeBron James, but we do insert DeAndre Ayton. Moses Moody is out as well for the Warriors here. Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga both had some questionables, but it looks like they are going to be cleared to go. And Warriors laying 2.5 on the road. All right. So Luka is back on the Mavericks, clearly, when you look at this roster.
They upgraded Clay with Austin Reeves, but it's basically the same team.
And now he has to cover 2.5 with the Lakers at home. I mean, it could be one of those Luka games. Or this Lakers roster could just not be good.
Do we think that a Luka game guarantees the Lakers a win? Because I don't.
It doesn't. It doesn't, actually. It would make things interesting.
I mean, it's going to sound pretty repetitive because we did the win totals for this team. And these teams were neck and neck in the Pacific Division. They're separated by 1 win. So you're basically picking which team you actually like more comparing these two. I like Golden State's roster more. Can I read off the front court depth for the Lakers in the first game of the season? Once again, first game of the season. Do you mind if I just read off the front court depth?
Do your thing.
So do you count Vanderbilt as an actual power forward? Because I don't. Just to ask. I think he's more of a small forward, just I'm going to defend 1 through 5 kind of guy. I don't really count him as a power forward. Is that fair?
Okay. I can see that.
You can put an asterisk next to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Their front court depth for game 1 is Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, and Vanderbilt, potentially. What the hell are we doing? And I know Kleber is arguably damaged goods at this point, but still. That's your front court game 1? Are you serious? I'm not saying the Warriors' front court's great either. I actually think Draymond and Horford can be very good defensively together. But there's no way you're a serious franchise rolling out that front court for the first game of the season. And I'm not a big Ayton guy. I used to be somewhat interested, but then I realized that the effort level's not there. He missed the game because of an icy driveway. I think everyone checked out at that point. I'm just not interested in this front court at all for this team. Do you like this Lakers roster? Because I really don't. And I feel like people are banking on Marcus Smart without realizing what stage of his career Marcus Smart's actually in at this point. Gabe Vincent's healthy for once. I think he's good when he's healthy. Connect can't defend. I like Laravia. I think Laravia is okay. But I think Golden State's the deeper team comparing these two rosters, and they're actually healthy. Curry and Butler were really good last year when they played together. Curry got hurt. Season fell apart. They're healthy again. I think Golden State's the better team on day 1. And even with LeBron, they still might be the better team. Because I don't think this Lakers team can guard anybody. So I like the Warriors on the road -2.5.
Okay, so DeAndre Ayton is a big question mark on if he plays well here for me.
Yeah.
Now, he was completely disengaged from anything going on in Portland.
And Portland was fun. Like, Portland was actually competing for a playing game for a couple weeks there.
He's completely disengaged from anything that was going on in Portland at all. And then we see, also something else that has come up recently in NBA Twitter of all the different interactions between him and different people on the Sun. I have to assume that there has to be some type of confidence that they have instilled in him, because I just don't think that JJ is going for any of this if Ayton starts sucking.
I think JJ is going to turn on him faster than Monty Williams did.
I really he's going to be so pissed if he sucks. And that's going to be the thing.
It's an effort thing. Like, I just don't think Ayton and Redick are going to mesh well together, because I just think Redick's looking for a high-energy center. It's why Hayes actually been okay on this team. They just want somebody to run the floor, play some defense, and make some hustle plays.
Yeah, but I think he might try to hoop, man. Like, I'm with Timeout Sports here. Like, I really do think he's going to try to hoop. I really do. I don't know how effective it's going to end up being, but I think he's going to give forth a good effort. And with that, he becomes the matchup problem in this game. Of course, Luka Doncic, but I think Rick can have a really good game. I like his over points here. And while they do have issues in the front court, I think the two guys that they have in the starting lineup can actually do pretty okay. But with that being said, I am just not committed to this Lakers team right now. I mean, at least we saw Steph and Jimmy Butler work out towards the end of the season last year, and they went on that crazy run when Jimmy got on the team, and everything looked good. They started to put it together, and they put it together fast. Like, it wasn't like this was something that built over time. They put it together really fast. Yeah, and then, everybody got hurt and died.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so, I don't know. I think the Warriors are a little bit undervalued here. If I just take into account how they look when Jimmy first joined that team and how quickly they started to put things together. But I'm also fading kind of this Lakers roster without LeBron James right now.
I think in general, though, I don't believe you were on the show. I think it was Lonte and I. I'm assuming for the win totals, you do think Golden State wins more games than the Lakers this season, correct?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I feel like with LeBron even playing, there's a sense of just continuity with this Warriors team, for better or worse. They have an identity. They know what they are. I'm still not sure what the Lakers actually are, besides LeBron, Luka, and you can argue Reeves, of course, as the three musketeers, but basically the big two, and a bunch of random role players. That's not going to win games. I don't really know what this roster is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Can you explain it to me? Because I don't get what this roster is.
I mean, this is what the Lakers are every year, where they bring in players and they hope those players play well for them, and those players end up not playing well, and we're ready to cast them off. Like, I would arguably bet that the number of threes that Marcus Smart is going to hit this season is going to be so comically low. Like, the 3-point percentage will probably be some of the worst 3-point percentage he's ever shot in his career, because nobody goes to the Lakers and shoots well after. And Marcus Smart already wasn't shooting well. Like, I think a lot of this, some of the threes that we're going to see from Marcus Smart this season, I think they're going to make us laugh out of our seat.
Look, at the end of the day, I do want to ask separately, how many games do you think they're getting from Marcus Smart? He's injured all the time.
Very true.
So I don't even know how many games he's going to be playing. Look, I'm not going to keep roasting the Lakers. It was documented in the win total episode, and I see some people are telling me to stop because they're Lakers fans. But look, I'll put it this way, just overall, I'm not a fan of their overall roster construction. I think the Warriors roster build actually makes sense. The team are full of dinosaurs. I don't trust them to actually win a title, playing 80-plus games with the playoffs. That's not the point. The point is for a regular season run, potentially, for 50-plus wins. The Warriors roster makes a lot of sense. The Lakers really doesn't. I'm going with the Warriors. And defensively, this team should be really good. And I'm not sure the Lakers can guard anybody. With Reeves and Luka as the backcourt, with Ayton now as your rim protector, good luck with that. That's a serious problem defensively from an overall lineup perspective. I got Golden State.
All right. Yeah, I got Golden State too. Ultimately, what it's going to be is that Luka Doncic is on the court, and Steve Kerr and Steph Curry have shown me in the past they are not afraid to get the switches and put Luka into action.
Or Reeves. The point is you can pick on whoever you want with this team.
And so Steph and we'll talk about that in the player props section, but I agree with Rocky. Steph is probably in line for a pretty good game here today.
Yeah.
All right. Total sitting here at 225 and a half, 226 and a half as we get it.
I kind of like the under.
Give me Warriors team total over.
Okay. I can get behind that, but it's a pace thing for me. Lakers last year ranked 21st in pace. Warriors ranked 18th. The Warriors can definitely get a bunch of great looks in the half court because of all the off-ball movement, making Reeves, Luka, even Ayton trying to guard off-ball. They might get a lot of open backdoor cuts, and of course the Draymond illegal or legal screens might get people open as well. But at the same point, Luka, I know he lost weight. We'll see how athletic and springy he looks in game one. He still wants to play in the half court. His bread and butter is pick and roll, isolation offense. Put me on an island. I'm going to dominate. That's going to kill the pace of the entire game. I don't think that either team, the Warriors who are older and the Lakers who have Luka as their star player, really want to play fast either way. Mm-hmm. So I like the under for the sake of pace alone. You could argue that regular season, you might see a bit of a step up defensively because preseason defense was an absolute joke, by the way. That was just an absolute scrimmage. That was a scrimmage by everybody involved to pad stats. But for the sake, what was the name of the scrimmage that everyone would do during the offseason where like Pritchard scored 70 points? The Drew League?
Oh, yeah.
It was basically the Drew League, watching preseason basketball. So you can argue that the effort level will step up defensively in general because you have actual games that count. There's a rivalry here, even though LeBron's not playing, of course. But I think pace-wise, I think it's going to be a pretty slow half-court game between two offenses that want to play in the half court. So I like the under in this game.
All right. Yeah. I just think the Lakers are going to suck defensively. I don't really have anything else to say.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't have anything. I'm just going to just hang my hat on, are the Lakers going to be a good defensive team? No. Now, maybe they, turn it up, and they are, because they were actually really solid in different spots last year.
The amount of sneaky cuts backdoor that Butler's going to get for free layups in this game, Redick's going to break. Redick's going to break.
It's like stuff like that.
Redick is going to break his damn clipboard with all the miscommunications they're going to have.
Because I think he's mentioning it. I think he's going to talk about it. He sees the Warriors. He knows how they play. I just don't think the players are going to be locked in on that side of the ball.
That's fair. I agree.
Maybe later in the season they'd be good, but not right now. All right. So, Warriors team total over for me. I really don't want to commit myself to one side or the other, so I kind of copped out right there. Scott's on the under. Player props starts with Curry. Dude, they're going to put Luka in the pick and roll. We saw this last season. He was forcing the pick and roll with Luka and with Lively and Gafford. Like, it was literally Steph Curry gets the ball. All right, let's get him on one of the bigs or Luka. Like, why do we change? Why do we change here? There's nothing to change here offensively. Just keep putting them in the matchups against them. And then we'll get the off-ball stuff, and he'll have the moments in the threes. With that being said, Steph Curry, go over the points prop.
What's he at again, 25.5?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me get the updated number here. We've got...
I think it's 25.5.
25.5.
Yeah. So I like the over on that
26.5 now.
Okay.
A little bit, sometimes a little bit juiced on 26.5 for some people.
I'm sure you can still find some 25s and if you shop around, but still, I don't mind that. I do think Luka does have a monster game stats-wise because the ball will always be in his hands. I know Reeves when they were missing some guys that Reeves can potentially run an offense. I mean, it's Luka's team at this point. I mean, Luka's going to try to dance on everybody. I actually didn't mind a Luka triple-double. I thought about it for this game, which might segue into a long shot parlay that I might give out later on in the show. Spoiler.
Ooh.
But Luka triple doubles plus 475. I don't mind that at all. I mean, you mentioned he's basically on the Mavericks again, which kind of segues perfectly into a triple double. To read off the actual stats that he's had against the Warriors recently, last game he had 19, 8, and 7. Game before that, 45, 11, and 13. Game before that, 31, 8, and 6. So once again, like not triple doubles for 2 out of the 3, but still overall good stat lines. I'll mention him without LeBron last season, just to read off some stat lines there. So without LeBron, he ended up playing 5 games. The stats for those games: 31, 8, and 7, 21, 9, and 14, 33, 11, and 8. He had 45 points and 11 rebounds. They just weren't there against the Bucks. and he had 22, 12, and 12. He'll be hovering. If you're going to be hovering in the ballpark of a triple-double and it's 475, I'll take a flyer with that. I don't like the rebounding on this team. We know Ayton rebounding can be very inconsistent. Rui, we know, is okay at rebounding, not amazing at it. Does Luka potentially just try to grab boards? That could happen too. The assist could be
he's
there.
not playing defense. He's not playing defense.
If they send help on him, maybe Aiden gets a couple of pick and pops for some free assists there. I think 475 makes sense for a game where Luka could put up some monster numbers in front of the home crowd, and they maybe still lose. But I can see Luka going for 30, 12, and 10. I think that's possible. Plus 475. I like the price on that.
Yep.
You said it again. He's back in Dallas, so why not?
Yeah, he is. He's literally back in Dallas. I definitely isolated the rebounds. I thought 8.5 for plus money. Plus money on the 8.5 rebounds. I felt like that was very, very appeasing. I could see Luka easily walking 10 rebounds here too. So I'm fine with that. Let's see else here. I talked about Rui. Talked about. I do actually like Reeves' assist too. I played that.
Okay.
I think that you look at him. He's 4-1 to this prop without LeBron last season, and you're not going to put the ball in Luka's hands. In fact, they're going to try the best to keep the ball out of Luka's hands. And so who is that? That's going to play it on Reeves. And Reeves has shown that he can run the offense with subpar pieces at that. And so I think that Reeves will be fine, and he'll get his. So I like his over 5.5 assists. So do I bet DeAndre Ayton now? And if it doesn't hit, I just give up on him on the rest of the season? Or do I wait, get some intel on him, and then decide what to do?
Honestly, you might just be getting good numbers for the sake of props. I mean, his points are at 13.5 or 14.5. I'm not taking the over on that. I still like Horford defensively and Draymond defensively. I think they can punk Ayton pretty easily, to be honest. Like if Ayton has a bad first quarter, does he mentally check out of this game?
Bro, I don't think he's. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
No,
I don't
the
think it's
point
going to be that bad.
Probably not. But the fact that I got to think about it makes me not want to take 14 now.
Because imagine like whatever you don't like DeAndre Ayton to be, he's still playing with Luka, and at the end of the day, somebody has to play on the other side of that pick and roll with Luka, and so you can eat off of that, and you can eat off of that alone. So that's why I'm like, maybe a double game is a very good bet for DeAndre Ayton. It's minus 115. If we ended the game and he's got 10 and 10 or 12 and 11, like I could see that. So I think, and you might be like, you know what? Still not the best DeAndre Ayton game, but he got the double and he did his job. So, I feel like double is safe for DeAndre Ayton today. If he doesn't get 10 rebounds, that's going to be like very depressing.
I was going to say the argument I would make as a counterpoint, it's kind of the same idea of backing Ayton, but I'll limit the sample size. I think Ayton needs to start off hot. Portland used to feed him in the first quarter. He was a constant first basket guy on that team. Ayton first quarter points is 3.5 at minus 154.
No, 2 pick and rolls. That's it.
I was going to say it's minus 154, so it is juicy, but I don't see him getting to 15 points without scoring at least 4 in the first quarter. You mentioned the pick and roll stuff. I think he'll get fed early. If he checks out later, he gets benched, not my problem. I think first quarter makes sense for a decent stat line. I want to see what his rebounds are, though, in the first quarter. 2.5. If you want to argue for a first quarter parlay, Ayton over 3.5 points with Ayton over 2.5 rebounds and only take the first quarter, I can get behind that. But for an entire game, I'm not backing Ayton. If I'm backing him, maybe for 12 minutes. Maybe.
All right, DeAndre in first quarter. It's so
logical
to me. It's 2 lobs to the basket, like 2 quick little lobs, and then nothing. I feel like
it's juicy, but as a parlay piece, I really don't mind that at minus 154. It's 2 baskets for 7.
I'm betting. I'm not betting on DeAndre Ayton with that bet. I am betting on Luka Doncic.
Yeah, Luka just sets him up for a couple open jumpers or layups, and you're good to go.
All right. Anything else here? Anything else we want to talk about?
I thought about Buddy Hield, but I'm going to pass on him. His numbers against the Lakers aren't that great.
Jimmy Butler? Any interest in Jimmy?
I actually like the Butler steals in this game.
Ooh.
It's at 1.5. I think it's like even money. Butler's kind of a demon defensively, and people don't remember that. We remember the finals run the Heat had, and he had like 2+ steals every game.
Yep.
He's a very good defensive player when it comes to jumping passing lanes. And I know Luka, you could argue, might be isolating a lot, which should limit some opportunities, but it's plus 108. I think it's a good price. Against the Lakers last year, he had 2 games against them, and he had 2+ steals in both games. I like but or steals over 1.5 plus 108.
All right. Not bad. I like that too. Might end up making that on the card. All right. Still underdog lineup here, Scott. Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Dog. Who's guarding Steph? Who's guarding Steph?
I'm trying to think of who even gets the matchup because Vanderbilt can't stay with him. Luka definitely can't stay with him. I mean, with the amount of motion the Warriors run, I don't know if it actually matters who gets the assignment because you're switching every pick and roll anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably Reeves. Good luck with that. It's probably Reeves.
They're just going to headhunt and get him the matchup he wants. And this is first game of the season. He's going up against the Lakers. 3 of the last 4 games, he's had 30-plus points against the Lakers. Like, the LeBron James thing doesn't make Steph play worse. Yeah, give me Steph over higher 26.5. Let's go with that. Higher 26.5 for Steph. Let's put that in the underdog. What's one for you?
Oh, I see DeGeneres mentioning that Vincent might get the assignment on Curry. We'll see how that goes. But I guess that's kind of their option. But that's also assuming that Vincent starts in the first place.
And that also assumes that he ends up on him by the time that Steph actually shoots the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of the point. So with the amount of motion and screens they run, it's a lot to chase after him. I don't know if Vincent can actually stay with Curry at this point. So we'll see. But I don't know. And Vando, look, I get it. He's in foul trouble all the time as well. He's going to try his best. We'll see how that goes. But I didn't mind the Curry play there. I do think I got to go with Durant points, though.
Oh, this is so like
the number is so disrespectful.
This is so 2015, 2016. Like we're taking Durant points and Steph points first game of the year.
23.5 though for a guy on a team that has a limited shooting. I think he ends up getting force fed at some point. I got to go with the points at 23.5. It's too low for Durant.
All right. What else here? Okay. 24.5 they have here. We'll take the higher there.
I'll take that.
And then we can finish this out with one more play. Who do we want for the last spot?
I mean, we already have one play from both games, so we can pick whatever we want at this point. I'm not gonna recommend Adams on lower 5.5.
Let's go with Luka. Let's go with. Do we? Okay.
You want to go Luka rebounds? We talked.
Yeah, I think Luka rebounds. And then that way we don't have to play Ayton. And that's also kind of another fate of Ayton not doing the one thing he was brought in to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Luka likes taking. Yeah, Luka likes hanging around. He's never playing defense, so
I think he's on triple double watch. So I'm fine with the rebounds.
All right, Kevin Durant higher 24.5 points. Luka Doncic higher 8.5 rebounds, and Steph Curry higher 26.5 points. Add that on Underdog, shake it up, and you're going to get 7.45x. $100 gets you $175 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Also, Rhythm. Got to talk to you about Rhythm. Hey. You could track 5 bets of the same type from any model with Rhythm, and you could win $1,000. They already have all the picks and props crushing it in NFL and college football. So I know the NBA props are going to be great as well. Get in there. Use that promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. All right. Lock Dog. You go first, Scott.
Really, starting off the season with a different mojo.
Yeah, we did it in the WNBA, and I got us through WNBA. It feels like we need to do inverse here, and that will keep things going. So let's go.
It's fine. I only went 7-1 on my WNBA picks while we kept the order that we had. But don't worry about my mojo. It's all your show. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right.
It's all good. So for my lock on the show, I mean, I thought about going with a side because I do think Golden State really is a bad matchup for the Lakers here. But I also thought of maybe going with the under or a player prop, but I think I'll just go with the Warriors. I actually like the roster construction when healthy. The question is, can they stay healthy? We're in game 1. there's a reason why this team's favored. I don't think it's solely based on LeBron. I know Luka can have a monster game. I'm not saying that's going to get them a guaranteed win. Defensively, this team should be in shambles. Rebounding-wise, they're not that great either. I do think Draymond and Horford, from a switchability perspective, look, Luka might get whatever he wants, any step-back 30-plus footer. You end up with Horford on Luka at the end of these shot clocks. That's really not that bad of a defensive matchup at an end of a shot clock. There's really not much hunting that Luka has with this defense. So I like the matchup for Golden State. I'll take Golden State minus 2.5 as my lock for the show. Daring the Lakers defense to do anything for the sake of this game. I'll throw in a bonus long shot parlay, by the way, because I can do that too. So for my dog, I think I'm going to stay with the Lakers game because I do think that the OKC game, it can go a couple of ways. I am going to go with Luka rebounds, alt number for my dog. You can find 9.5. So in other words, Luka just get 10 rebounds, which I think is just an overall great price. Luka 10 rebounds. Honorable mention, by the way, to Şengün for 10-plus rebounds. But Luka to get 10 rebounds in this game against the Warriors. I'm trying to find the exact number here. Sorry. You can find 9.5 rebounds at plus 171.
What?
I'll take that. I think it's a good spot for Luka. I like the price. I think it's once again a good opportunity with no LeBron, with no real high motor center in the game. I think Doncic can get the 10 rebounds. I'll get that at plus 171. To throw in a long shot parlay for the fun of it, can I interest you in a Luka triple-double?
Yeah.
Warriors minus 2.5 and Curry over 26.5 points, 20-1.
Whew, I'm placing that right now. What? That sounds completely possible.
I was experimenting this morning and I built that. So I was a fan of the idea because if the Warriors are going to win, Curry probably has a great game. Luka can get his stats, who cares? And the Warriors win. All three of those together, reverse correlation, Luka triple-double with Warriors to cover the spread, 20-1 on BetMGM.
Great call. Like it. All right. Wow. I don't have a 21 to play for you. Sorry.
I'm going first, so I had to steal your long shot parlay bit. It's fine.
Houston, OKC under 227.5. I just think, I agree. I think that Ime has to slow the pace down, and I think he does. But unfortunately, OKC is still good at playing in half court. And so I don't think it's going to be a lot of points here to be scored. Hopefully, the rebounding is hey, we only get one shot possession, and then we go to the next possession and, one shot possession rebound instead of the Rockets putting up points. But I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think OKC will have things under control here. So under 227.5 for two good defensive teams. For my dog, it's going to be relatively simple. Whoa. It's going to be a relatively simple. That is embarrassing. We're going to have Steph. 30 points, plus 153.
All right.
I think he'll be able to score it. All right. That's it for us. What do we got here? Tomorrow, I forget. Who is it tomorrow, Scott?
Let me pull that up quickly. So for the schedule, it is going to be you and Lonte. So I have tomorrow off.
All right, me and Lonte tomorrow, and we'll be breaking down a enormous second day of basketball here as we get through all of the slate, and I get to tell you whether I am optimistic or pessimistic about the New York Knicks and how they start this season, because I don't know if you've seen Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's their podcast, but they are looking ahead. I can tell you that right now. All right, with that being said, he's at Retro Radio. I'm at @realreal__. Make sure you give us a follow. Follow SGPN NBA on X, all of that. And with that, that's it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just kind of like this. We are